The Night Visitor. Scary True Stories. Jonathan, an ordinary middle-aged man, lived alone in a small apartment on the outskirts of the city. His life was quiet and predictable until one night something strange happened. At exactly 3 a.m., he woke up to a loud knock at his door. Half asleep, he walked to the door and peeked through the peephole, but no one was there. Assuming it was a prank or a mistake, Jonathan went back to bed. However, as he closed his eyes, he felt a presence standing over him, staring. When he opened his eyes, the room was empty. The next night, the same thing happened. At 3 a.m., there was another knock at the door. Jonathan looked through the peephole, but again, there was no one there. He locked the door tightly, trying to calm himself. But as he lay back in bed, the feeling returned, that of something unseen looming over him, studying him. Suddenly, the room felt cold, but once again there was no sign of anyone. On the third night, Jonathan was at his wits' end. He stayed awake, anticipating the knock, and sure enough, it came. Desperate, he called the police, but when they inspected his apartment, they found nothing unusual. The next day, he visited a doctor, suspecting there might be something wrong with him, but the examination revealed nothing. Left without answers, Jonathan decided to take matters into his own hands. Jonathan installed a camera in his bedroom and positioned it to capture both the door and his bed. The following night, the knocking and the eerie presence returned. In the morning, he reviewed the footage, but no intruder was visible, only the sound of the knocks and the unsettling feeling he had described. His fear deepened as the mystery grew. On the fifth night, Jonathan woke to the sensation of something pulling at his blanket. He opened his eyes and saw it, a figure. It stood tall and skeletal, with empty eyes and dark rotting skin. Its movements were unnatural and menacing. Jonathan tried to scream, but no sound came out. The creature began dragging him toward the door, but as soon as it crossed the threshold, it vanished, and Jonathan could finally scream. Terrified, he checked his hands and saw that his skin was pale and dried, resembling that of the creature. He lay back in bed, confused and trembling. The cycle repeated for several nights, and Jonathan couldn't comprehend what was happening to him. One night, the creature returned, but this time it carried a knife. It approached Jonathan, and he felt the sharp blade cut into his skin. The next morning, the police found his body. His wrists were slit, and the scene appeared to be a suicide. However, the camera footage showed an empty room, no signs of anyone entering or leaving. Later, doctors concluded that Jonathan suffered from an advanced form of schizophrenia, which had gone undiagnosed. He believed the creature had killed him, but in reality, it was a projection of his fractured mind. Yet neighbors claimed they could still hear strange knocks coming from his apartment late at night.